Bill Clinton was stumping for Hillary, and apparently he knows who to blame for the current anger in our country. Millennials. Stay classy, Bill. So he said the following: the reason that there's so much anxiety, intensity, anger, blame in this election is that 80% of the American people have not gotten a pay raise since the crash 8 years ago after inflation. So far, so good. A lot of young people feel like they've played by the rules, went to school, they're going to graduate with debt they can't repay, or they've already graduated with debt they can't repay, and they may not even get to do what they really wanted to do with their lives. Okay, again, still, so far, so good, and then he drives it into the ditch. Quote, "If all the young people who claim to be disillusioned now had voted in 2010, we wouldn't have lost the Congress, and we'd probably have our incomes back." Okay. No, we wouldn't, because our Democrats in this country are center-right, and they always do half measures at best. And second of all here, stop blaming the victims. This is victim blaming 101. Bill Clinton, for those of you who don't know, he's the character that signed NAFTA. So outsourced many, many good factory jobs, and then he turns around and he's like, "Oh, fucking millennials. Go vote, and go vote for us." Well, wait. You voted for NAFTA. That's one of the problems that the millennials are angry about. And because we've lost jobs over that. You also, by the way, signed the Gramm-Leach-Bliley Act, which was the repeal of Glass-Steagall, which was one of the biggest things that led to the crash. Now, obviously, you had most Republicans with you on that one, because this is, oh, I'm a new Democrat, I'm a centrist, I sometimes agree with the Republicans. Well, good fucking job, because when you did agree with them, you signed a piece of legislation that was one of the main pieces that was responsible for the crash. And again, now he turns around, he's like, fucking millennials, man. Why don't you guys go vote? Because of you! Because, unfortunately, in our shitty system, you're like the furthest left politician that we can get, because the Overton window, which is the spectrum of debate, is so far to the right because of money in politics. So it's always hilarious when corporatist, establishment, center-right Democrats berate young people for not voting for them, when you have to earn our vote. You have to give us a reason to want to get up to go vote for you. On the Republican side, you know, the common argument is, well, they're just authoritarian, more or less, and they'll fall in line. And they're doctrinaire, and it's just, oh, I must go and vote for my party because this is what I do. They're like robots. It's like a simpleton kind of thing. Now, on the one hand, it's also, you know, doing your civic duty, which is a positive thing. But they're much more likely to just fall in line and be mindless drones. Whereas the Democrats, they're like, okay, so I'm paying taxes. This is my money. What the fuck are you going to do for me? If I'm giving you money, it's not like, you know, like the Republicans might view it. I'm paying the government to appease the government. Like, here's my money and go away. No, if I'm going to give you my money, that's my tax money. I'm going to want it to go towards things I'm going to want to prioritize. So, hey, give me healthcare, give me college, give me paid vacation time. There's a whole bunch of stuff that we would want. But the center-right Democrats do a really shitty job. They get like a C- in the shit they do, and then they turn around and blame you. Hey, why the fuck didn't you come vote for me in the midterms? I don't know. Look at what you did when you were in office. You didn't give me a reason to want to go vote for you. Now, again, don't get me wrong, guys. Am I making the argument that, you know, these Democrats are equally as bad as Republicans? No way. A Democratic president is much better for the Supreme Court. A Democratic president is much better on every social issue. And Democratic presidents are better on economic issues in the sense that they don't necessarily screw you further most of the time. The Republicans are actively trying to go further in the wrong direction, whereas the Democrats, like Obama's a perfect example of this, is just trying to, like, keep it where it is. But you cannot blame millennials for saying, no, I don't want you to just keep it where it is. If you want me to go vote for you, you better move us in the right direction. Which is why you see what? Bernie Sanders has the overwhelming majority of millennial voters. Why? Because his platform appeals to them, because his platform makes sense. I mean, think about it. Here's a guy that's actually saying, I'm going to take your tax money and do shit for you with it. As opposed to the center-right Democrats and the Republicans who, while the center-right Democrats might not cut Social Security and Medicare, they are going to take your tax money and give subsidies to ExxonMobil. They are going to do it. They are going to give corporate welfare checks and subsidies to the big banks. They are going to do it. They are going to continue soft imperialism around the world. Like, again, that's the thing. They give you a choice. Hard imperialism or soft imperialism. You want Dick Cheney and Bill Kristol and George Bush and maniacs like that. Or you want, Bill Clinton and Barack Obama, who they say, no, come on, we're not going to do ground invasions with like 100,000 troops. But endless drone warfare, endless, airstrikes, using military helicopters, putting advisors on the ground, 8,000 of them, 10,000 of them here or there, sprinkle them in. We could do that. So there is nobody who comes along and says, how about none of it? How about specifically in the fight against ISIS? This is the responsibility of, for example, the Kurds in the region, the Shia militias in the region, the other supposedly moderate Sunni nations. If they're so against them, go ahead and fight them, and we can give some humanitarian aid here and there. But it's their fight. Who says that? Well, there's one person who came along and said that. That would be two. I put up two fingers. There's one person who comes along and says that, Bernie Sanders, and he's winning the millennial vote. So you cannot blame, you just can't blame millennials for not being enthusiastic to vote for you when you haven't given them a reason to be enthusiastic and vote for you. Now, look, again, on the other hand, is it true that millennials should vote anyway? Because if they don't vote, we are going to get a worse system, and it is going to be the worst boogeyman, the far right in power? Yes. But I would tell millennials and, Democrats in general they should vote without blaming them when they don't, because, again, it ain't their fault that you guys suck, the Democratic Party. You're too corporatist, you're center-right, you're pro-establishment, and that's not what we want. And that explains why, every single midterm election, they're not out there voting for you. So perhaps if you want them to get out and vote for you, there's a very simple answer to it. Stop taking the corporate money and become a true progressive, true liberal party. Become a social democratic party. Fight for the things that, according to the polling data, we overwhelmingly agree with. And if you fight for those things, yeah, they'll come out and vote for you in the midterm. But don't you dare sit there and wag your finger at them when you're the problem, because you've taken the Democratic Party in the direction of being center-right, being a new Democrat, triangulating, being above the fray, being, oh my God, I'm so open-minded and tolerant, and I'm so centrist that I'm going to agree with the Republicans a large percentage of the time. And God damn it, why don't these people who actually believe in liberal values vote for me? You answered your own question.